Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. So, today I'm going to be coming to you with my first tutorial for this year. It is slightly unconventional, at least for me, because it is not clay focused, but it is a very much AI focused, and it addresses a problem that I have seen in the past before, which up until now didn't really have a good solution. But thanks to the age of AI and the blessing of living in 2026, this is now a solved problem. So, um, I know as GTM engineers, we live a lot in the world of email and cold calling and phone calls, but something that goes entirely ignored, or at least like pushed to the side, are social channels like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. More specifically, Instagram. I mean, a lot of businesses, like influencers aside, there's a lot of B2B businesses and a lot of serious business people on Instagram. And they've got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. And what ends up happening is if they're selling high ticket courses or if they're selling programs or something else, what happens is because they're famous, they are usually inundated with the sheer volume of people who already know them, or like they're trying to contact them, send them fan mail, send them greetings, or like trying to sell them something. So what happens is that these people, legitimate prospects, get ignored or they fall through the cracks. There's almost no way of staying up to date or staying on top of legitimate people who are looking to purchase from you. And even if there is, like, how do you know that they're not time wasters or tire kickers? So up until now, there's been like a big gap in the market. A lot of it was addressed through ManyChat, and if you don't know ManyChat, it's basically just a drag and drop flow builder. Just like imagine Zapier for Instagram DM messages. So if this happens, then do this. If the user says this, then say that. It's nice, but it's very inflexible. It's very rigid, and it doesn't really it's very hard to bring your tone, personality, and a little bit of like dynamism into play. So it always feels like robotic and awkward. But thanks to AI and like thanks to the quality of sophistication and almost the humane touch that chat models now have, LLMs now have, such as GPT 5.2 or Claude, you can actually have a very intelligent bot sitting inside your Facebook or Instagram DM account and just going through a huge volume of inbound and filtering them for, hey, is this person a legitimate buyer? Like, is this someone I want to have a collaboration with? Is this someone I want to have brand partnerships with or a call with? Or is this person wasting my time? Are they trying to pitch me or trying to sell me on something? And this is what I'm going to explore in this tutorial. So the key idea is to go to someone, like just to emulate someone really famous, and go inside their DM inbox, their Instagram DMs, and then figure out if someone is a good fit for your services or not. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let me show you something that I've cooked up, and I can't wait to show this to you. So we are going to dive right in. We are going to, let's just say, we are going to be emulating Tony Robbins. I think almost everyone knows him. Tony, if you're watching this for some reason, I hope it's cool that I've used you as an example for this video. So what we're going to do is so for example, I know nothing about Tony, but I know for a fact like a couple of things. Tony sells programs, he sells coaching. There's a couple of really expensive products and services that he offers, some of which cost, I'm not sure, some of them cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. But what I'm imagining is that Tony probably is inundated with hundreds of DMs every day. Like, hey, love you, Tony. Big fan. Can I have an autograph? Or, hey, can I sell you a website? Can I sell you something? So I think what would happen, like it is safe to assume, like for Tony, a lot of things must be slipping through the cracks. And I try to imagine like what would happen if Tony had the power of like ChatGPT or Claude inside his Instagram account. So something that is really good at speaking in his voice. It knows all the context about Tony, his business, what he does, what he sells, the price point, his brand guidelines, etc. Which, you know, like it's all possible now. Like let's, you know, you can go inside ChatGPT or Claude and say, hey, here's system instructions, and you're going to now speak in the voice of Tony Robbins, and here's all the information about him, blah, 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 blah. But how do you bring that inside of ManyChat? So what I'll start with first is like I'll show you a demo of what I did, and then we can dive deep into the tech implementation of it all, and I'll show you how I built all of this. All of the tech setup is going to be inside of ManyChat, and I know a lot of us are familiar with ManyChat, but we are going to make it do things that it wasn't really designed to do, so we are going to be pushing it to its limits. So let's jump into Instagram, and I am going to message our bot over here. That's just a trigger keyword for the bot so that it's not triggering for everyone. There we go. The bot has just replied with, hey, it's Tony Robbins here. What's brought you here today? Hey, Tony, I am feeling stuck in my business. I think you can probably watch this segment on like 1.5x speed because I'm going to be interacting with the bot. What I would love for you to like take a look at is it's going to be speaking in Tony's voice. Level up my biz income from 30K a month to 100K a month. So this bot is essentially trying to qualify me as a prospect and find out if I'm a good fit for his coaching or his cohort-based coaching services. I am the bottleneck. I need mentorship and accountability. So one thing that's cool is like you can usually, like when people have ManyChat, you have to click on like these tiny annoying bubbles. It's like buttons, so it really constrains you with your user input. Not anymore. So how committed are you? I'm just going to say I'm a 10. And all of this on the back end is a chatbot that has all of the context history and everything. Tanay. That's my email. So you can see that it's also doing lead capture, which is exactly what it was designed to do. So qualify, make sure that the person's facing enough of a painful problem, and then flag it to the sales team. Like that's what the bot is doing. There we go. Ready to book that call? Heck yes. Yeah, so you can see like at this point, everything is perfect and the conversation has ended. And this is obviously like a system output, but we stopped that conversation there, and then I have a whole summary of my name, of my problems, of everything. This goes to the sales team. From here, I can parse out my details, store this in my CRM, and give this to my sales team based on what they've replied over here dynamically. So yeah, hopefully you can kind of see the power of real intelligence behind DMs based off of this demo. What I would love to show you now is the technical setup behind this, and I'm going to pause here, and we are going to jump deep into the woods. Let's dig into the muck, and I will show you the nuts and bolts of how I configured this. Let's jump inside of ManyChat. So inside of ManyChat, we have a flow, and it looks pretty straightforward. It triggers on a keyword, which is that weird string that I sent it in the beginning. That's when it knows that it has to call ChatGPT. So essentially what we're doing is it's just a simple loop that does like a series of API calls to ChatGPT, specifically to like OpenAI's latest chat model. And it loops until ChatGPT tells us, until GPT 5.2 tells us that, okay, that's it, the conversation has ended. And when the conversation has ended, we get a summary, and then we can send that to our sales team. So the ManyChat setup is nothing special. It's everything that's going on behind the scenes on these API calls. That is the real magic. So the thing I'll speak about first is inside of ChatGPT, inside of OpenAI, specifically the platform, what I've done is I have inside the chat section, I have a ready-made prompt over here. This prompt already has a model set with the latest chatbot model. I really like this one because it's very fast, and ManyChat really needs speed. Like it needs to be working really fast. Like, you know, the importance of speed when people are chatting. It's got a system message over here. I'm happy to share this with you, which is essentially training the chatbot on how Tony speaks, the flow of the qualification, the data to collect, and how to indicate whether a conversation is over or not. And if you need this prompt, of course, feel free to let me know. I can share this with you, but it's nothing special. And I actually used AI to help me create a lot of this prompt. But what we're doing over here is the magic lies in here. So you can see that for these requests, like when backing up, when someone, the first message is, hey, it's Tony Robbins here. What brought you here? So someone types something, right? And then when someone types something, I'm actually sending the response to a Vercel app that I've created. Now, please stay with me here. And if you think that this is getting a little bit complicated, I assure you, I don't know how to code. I don't understand code. And until very recently, I didn't even know what is Vercel. All I know is like Vercel is a place for me to securely host a server for free. I didn't have to pay for it. So there's like, I use Claude Code essentially as a non-technical person to just basically say, hey, help me set up a server on Vercel that will handle incoming API calls from ManyChat, which is hooked up to the OpenAI model over here, the one that I showed you. Now I can go into Vercel, but again, I don't know anything about code. This is all Claude doing all the work over here. There is just, all I know is like there's JavaScript over here that is handling when ManyChat sends something, then I basically get a response back from Vercel saying like, hey, this is what the OpenAI chatbot responded with. I just map that to the response to like custom fields over here, and I simply display those custom fields. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And at the end of the conversation, I'm simply going and I'm sending a link, like another request to Vercel saying, hey, the conversation is over. Please summarize it, which goes here. It just says, hey, summarize this conversation. And that's pretty much it. So I'm happy to share these JavaScript files with you. Vercel is free. And I'm sure like if you use ChatGPT or Claude, if you feed it these JavaScript files, even if you don't know how to code, you can probably say to Claude like, hey, help me repurpose this for my own use case. And all you'd have to do is like supply your OpenAI API key. That's pretty much it. And then from there, we've got this loop, and I can also share this template with you. I can share this automation. So if you need it, let me know. I'm more than happy to share it. But it's very straightforward. Goes in here, starts a conversation, loops this particular node up until ChatGPT tells me, hey, the conversation is complete. And that's it. That's all it is. And you've got the full power of an advanced chatbot model that knows your client's voice, your FAQs, all of the customer support tickets that they've ever received, all of the emails, all of the content. You can feed all that context here inside here, or using the tools where you can do like, you can upload files here, as much context and as much documentation as you want to make the tone and the brand compliant with exactly how your client speaks and communicates online. So hopefully all of this was useful. I'm super transparent about all of these resources and these assets. If you need something or if you need clarity, let me know. More than happy to share the prompts or the JavaScript files, everything except for the API keys. Get your own. That's it. And if you have questions, please let me know. And yeah, wishing you an amazing 2026 and happy building.